The Last Prayer. The walls of the tomb closed behind him, trapping his soul forever. Now listen to me. This is important. You don't want to miss this. The walls of the tomb closed behind him, trapping his soul forever. He was so sure that he would get out. He made one fatal error. That is what led to his demise. And now he is stuck inside an eternal prison with only darkness as his companion. I will explain everything to you. How did he end up in this place? What was his last prayer? And how did the walls come alive to devour his soul? It all started when a young boy who lived in a village nestled between hills and valleys fell gravely ill. His name was Malik, a simple shepherd tending his flock by day and seeking refuge in his faith by night. Malik was known for his unwavering devotion, a beacon of hope in a community grappling with despair. His evenings were spent in fervent prayer, his pleas echoing through the valley, reaching up to the heavens above. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, Malik found himself enveloped by an unfamiliar fear. His heart pounded against his ribs like a trapped bird, and a cold dread seeped into his bones. That night, as the wind whispered tales of sorrow through the swaying grass, Malik's prayers took on a desperate edge. He poured out his soul, begging for divine intervention. "O Lord," he cried, his voice cracking with anguish, "you have always been my refuge, my solace in times of need. Please heal me. Grant me your blessings. I am but a humble servant, lost and broken without your guiding light." His pleas echoed into the vast expanse of the night, carrying with them the weight of his unwavering faith and the depth of his despair. As the hours crept by, the intensity of his agony grew, twisting and turning within him like a relentless tormentor. His body racked with sobs, tears streaming down his face, a testament to his profound suffering. Yet, amidst the throes of his pain, his spirit refused to be broken. With a final surge of strength, Malik uttered a prayer so fervent, so charged with emotion that it seemed to hang in the air, long after his lips had formed the words. "O Lord, if it is your will, grant me one more chance at life. Let me witness the dawn, feel the warmth of the sun on my skin. Just one more day, my Lord, to show you my devotion, to express my gratitude for the gift of life itself." His words soared into the star-studded sky, a desperate bargain struck between a man and his faith. Now, in response to his earnest plea, the heavens rumbled. A brilliant light filled the night, momentarily banishing the darkness and enveloping Malik's small dwelling in its ethereal glow. From the depths of this radiance, a voice boomed, echoing with the power of ages past. "Your devotion has touched the heavens, Malik, and for that I shall grant you a reprieve. The sun shall rise again for you, and you shall live to see another day. But know this is your final chance. Seize it not lightly, for life is a sacred gift to be cherished each and every moment." With these words, the light faded and silence returned, leaving Malik bathed in the soft hues of the approaching dawn. And indeed, as the first rays of sunlight kissed the horizon, Malik stirred. He opened his eyes to a world painted in the vibrant colors of life, the chirping of birds and the gentle rustling of leaves a symphony of renewal. Overwhelmed with gratitude, he rose, his heart swelling with a renewed appreciation for each breath, each heartbeat, each precious moment that now stretched before him. He looked up to the heavens, whispering a prayer of thanks. "O Lord, I am humbled by your mercy. I shall live each day in reverence, cherishing the gift of life you have so graciously bestowed upon me." And with this resolve, he stepped out into the world, ready to embrace the day and honor the second chance he had been given. But as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, a shadow began to creep into Malik's heart. The joy of his reprieve slowly faded, replaced by a gnawing discontent. He found himself plagued by a relentless restlessness, a yearning for something he couldn't quite define. The vibrant colors of life seemed to dull. The sweet melody of birdsong became a monotonous hum, and the very air he breathed felt heavy and oppressive. Despite the beauty that surrounded him, Malik felt a deep sense of isolation, as though the world in which he lived had lost its meaning. He searched for solace in prayer, but even in his faith, he found only echoes of his former devotion. His heart, once brimming with fervor, now seemed like a barren desert, devoid of the oasis of peace he so desperately craved. Consumed by this internal turmoil, Malik's thoughts drifted back to the night of his desperation, the night when he had bartered with the heavens for another chance at life. And in the quiet moments of introspection, a chilling realization dawned on him. In his moment of greatest need, he had inadvertently uttered a prayer that carried within it the seeds of his own damnation. For in his supplication, he had not merely asked for another day, he had implored the divine to grant him a single day beyond his mortal coil, a day to savor life from a realm beyond its confines. And now, having received his wish, he realized the gravity of his words. He was tethered to this earthly realm by a single day that would soon slip through his fingers like grains of sand, leaving him stranded in a twilight zone where life and death intertwined in a macabre dance. With this horrifying epiphany came a surge of panic. Malik understood, with a clarity that chilled him to the bone, that his one-day reprieve was his last, a final breath before the inevitable embrace of eternity. His attempts to pray for forgiveness were met with an eerie silence, his pleas for understanding drowned out in the vast indifference of the cosmos. Trapped in the suffocating grip of his own making, Malik found himself at the precipice of oblivion, staring into the abyss of an existence that offered no solace, no redemption, and most importantly, no escape. As the weight of his fatal prayer pressed down on him, Malik's heart hammered against his ribs, a frantic tattoo on the bars of his self-made prison. His breaths came in ragged gasps, each inhalation a desperate struggle against the invisible hand that seemed determined to drag him into the suffocating darkness. Fear, cold and paralyzing, coursed through his veins, turning his blood to ice water. It was a primal terror that knew no bounds, a terror born of the realization that he was utterly alone in the face of an unforgiving eternity. He scrambled, his limbs flailing, seeking an escape that simply did not exist. The walls of his modest dwelling, once a sanctuary, now mocked him with their unyielding solidity. Each stone, each timber seemed to have transformed into an unbreakable barrier, sealing him within his fate. Outside, the wind howled, and the very elements seemed to be conspiring against him, their symphony of chaos mirroring the cacophony of his fear. Malik collapsed, his shoulders slumping, his gaze fixed on the floor. The fire of life, once so vibrant within him, was steadily ebbing away, replaced by a chilling numbness that crept closer with each passing moment. As the darkness pressed in, threatening to engulf him completely, he cried out, his voice hoarse and filled with despair. "Oh Lord, forgive me. I have erred. I have strayed from the path of righteousness. Grant me mercy. Let me not face the eternal night alone." But his prayers, once his lifeline to the heavens, were swallowed by the void, unanswered and unheard. Malik's last conscious thought was a prayer, a desperate, anguished plea for salvation. But his soul, severed from its tether to the divine, was left to navigate the labyrinth of the afterlife alone. And as his eyes, glazed over and unseeing, stared blankly into the abyss, his spirit slipped the surly bonds of flesh, leaving behind a body frozen in the tableau of terror. The walls of the tomb closed behind him, trapping his soul forever.